Now we're going to work on multiplying decimals. We're going to do 3 sample problems. So in our first sample problem, we're looking at 14 times 20.4. When I write it out, I'm going to always put the one with the most digits on the top. That one has 2 digits, that one has 3. So I'm going to write 20.4 times 14. At this point when I multiply, I'm going to forget about the decimals until the very end. When you multiply decimals, you do not have to line up decimal places. You have to line them up when you add or subtract. But when you multiply, you do not have to line up decimals. In fact, just forget about them till the very end. We're going to solve it like a regular multiplication problem. 4 times 4 is 16, carry the 1. 4 times 0 is 0, plus 1. 4 times 2 is 8. We've now finished the 4, so I'm going to put a 0 down here because I have to be in the tens place. The 1 is in the tens place, so I'm going to get into the tens place. 1 times 4 is 4. 1 times 0 is 0. 1 times 2 is 2. You guys all remember that we need to add, so we have 6, 5, 8, 2. Now is where we have to remember the decimal. So look back at the problem. How many digits come after decimals in the problem? Well, there's no decimal there. Here we have 1 digit after the decimal. So we have a total of 1 digit after decimals. So we're going to put it there. Our answer has 1 digit after the decimal. Now, what if you were multiplying problems that had decimals in both places? Let's look at an example for that. Let's pretend we were doing 3.1 times 0.5. All right, again, I'm going to put the one with the most digits on top. Well, they both have 2, so it really doesn't matter. I'm going to put 3.1 on the top and 0.5 on the bottom. You'll see why I picked it that way in a minute. Again, we're going to forget about the decimals now. We don't have to line them up. In this case, they just coincidentally line up. But we're going to forget about them till the very end. 5 times 1 is 5. 5 times 3 is 15. I'm done with the 5. And then 0 times everything is zeros. It's like they're not even there. So when I add them, I get 155. But I need to put in the decimals. So where does my decimal go in the answer? Let's look at how many digits come after the decimal in the problem. Here is 1 digit after a decimal. There's a second digit after a decimal. 2 digits come after decimals in the problem, so I need 2 digits after decimals in my answer. So my answer is 1.55. We're going to do one more problem like that. This time we're going to be multiplying 2.15 times 1.32. So we have 3 digits in both of them, and we have multiple digits coming after decimals. So we're going to set it up vertically. And again, it coincidentally worked out that the decimals were lined up, but it doesn't have to have them lined up. When you multiply, you don't have to line them up. 2 times 5 is 10. 2, 3, 4. I'm done with the 2, so I'm going to put a 0 there because I'm now in the tenths place, and I need to make sure my answers are going to be in the same place. 15, 4, 6. I'm now done with the 3. I have 2 numbers crossed off. That means I need to have 2 zeros there so that my answer is in the right place. 1 times 5 is 5. 1, 2. I have to add up all 3 rows now. 0, 8, 13, 8, and 2. So now I need to find out where exactly does my decimal go. In this problem, I have 2 digits after this decimal, and I have 2 digits after this decimal. Altogether, 4 digits come after decimals in the problem, so my answer has to have 4 digits coming after the decimals. 1, 2, 3, 4. It would go right there. So as a quick sum up, when you add and subtract decimals, you have to line them up. But when you multiply decimals, you just solve it as if it was a regular multiplication problem, and then you count the total number of digits that come after the decimal in the problem, and then you make that same total number come after your decimal in the answer.